What's going on, crew? Not the best night. I can't say it's the worst night either. Uh, don't really got too much of a voice, so I'm gonna do a quick recap. Then I'm gonna break down each game tomorrow. But one thing that I realized today is going back to my 6 point system is leading me in the right direction. I had a better night today. Um, Initially, I had LeBron and Paul George in my lineup. Someone mentioned that Cleveland being up 0-2, that they may not bring it. So I took out LeBron and I went with Antetokounmpo, and that single decision really cost me, I would say, about at least $50. But it's fantasy basketball. It gets like that. I didn't think LeBron would drop 87 today. LeBron kind of Westbrook the slate that if you didn't have him, it would have been tough. And it burns because I had him and Paul George in that lineup with some Greg Monroe. So I felt pretty good about it. But let's look at some other players. Shout out to Gabe Santana. My friend Gabe likes to play Kyrie Irving on a nightly basis. Kyrie Irving had 20.5 today. And I said that every point guard would score more than him, right? Lowry scored more than him at 23. Jeff Teague scored 32 more than him. Mike Conley scored 37 more than him. So I knew that Kyrie Irving, I didn't like any of the big three, but LeBron got possessed, honestly. LeBron was struggling too. The game was out of control. He got possessed. He came out and did something epic, man. He showed why he's LeBron James. And if he's going to do that year after year, he's going to go down as the all-time great. I don't personally like LeBron James, but when you perform like that, it leaves me speechless to just say, hey, the guy's the best. You know what I mean? And that's that. LeBron went off. He took control of the game. His 3-point shot was wet. Had a good game. Other players. So Paul George, Zach Randolph hit 6 times value. Monroe hit 6 times value. Brogdon was on point, but that game turned into a blowout. Ibaka, who's to say that Ibaka get 10 points? It was just that type of night. That was just weird night. Game 3 in the playoffs is just a bomber, man. Tony Snell, 11. CJ Miles started, 12. All right. Guys that was worth having today outside of LeBron. Chris Middleton finally hit value. Aldridge had a good game in a losing effort. He still got some mid-30s. Thad Young had a good game. Shannon Fry for his price, very well. Delon Wright got garbage time and did okay. Seraphin had 23 points for just 2,500. He can't. I don't know why they didn't go back to him early in the second half. He was the reason they got up so much, and then they abandoned him. And that's about it. So I'm excited about tomorrow. I think this 6 times concept is really going to help me. And if it wasn't for the blowouts today, I think without the blowouts, we could have did much better today, to be honest. And you can't predict blowouts. It is what it is. So without further ado, I'm going to get into tonight's slate. I'm going to look at every game, every player, see who I think has the highest chance of hitting 6 times value. And if I get 6 times for all players, that's 300 points. Before I do that, let me get over to YouTube and show some love to the community who I think has the highest chance of hitting 6 times. The people who can't come in every night and show me love. Shout out to Gabriel Santana. Yeah, I threw you under the bus, bro. Kyrie was not the plug tonight. Roman says shouldn't have listened to people saying not to go Cavs. The Cavs sucked. It was just LeBron. It wasn't the Cavs. It was just LeBron. And he got hot, man. He got hot. What can I say? Gonna get money with 258 tonight. Yeah, me too. If you're in the 50-50 with the lineup that I had, you're definitely in the money. And in the Sharks nest, I'm not really in the money right now. I don't think I'll be in the money because all my players have been taken out. But in a $3 contest, 3-player max, I'm in the money. So I want some crumbs again today. Not super excited about it, but tomorrow we're gonna get it. I'm gonna take my time. We're gonna get the 6 times value. We're gonna make it work. So let's get into this right away. Boston versus Chicago now. Chicago's at home, so they got that home court advantage, that rush, that push. That's one thing. And then we got to look at matchups. When it comes, if I'm starting with Chicago, Boston is weak at the point guard position, and then they're weak at the bigs. All right. Rondo. Rondo played them twice already this season. All right. The first game, he didn't play the fourth quarter at all. They went with what's the guy named Jerry and Grant, whatever his name is, in the fourth quarter. I think Rondo had some foul issues. He had 5 fouls that game. Provided that he stays out of foul trouble. If Rondo gets you mid-30s up plus, Rondo is going to get you a point per minute plus, guys. And don't take my word for it. Let's take a look. 21 minutes, 22 points. 34 minutes, 43. 36, 45. 36, 53. 34, 39. 25, 26. 20, 27. 27, 36. 40, 53. Rondo is good for at least a point per minute. So at home, if you tell me Rondo is going to get 35 plus minutes, easy, 42 points for that 6 times value. A lot of people, I don't know. I think he's going to be chalked tomorrow for the right reason. You can't not go Rondo at home. He just dominated on the road, and it's a valid point that he likes to play in Boston because he played for that team and he likes to show out. That's what his comfort zone is. But guys, they want to go up 3-0. All right. Get some Rondo in your lineup. I feel good about it. Now, if we're continuing to look at matchups, we know that A.B. Bradley's a good defender. And Dwayne Wade has done decent against him in the first 2 games. 33 points in both games. I'm very scared to pick on some. If I need 6 times value, that means I need upper 30s from him. I don't think Dwayne Wade is going to provide me upper 30s tomorrow. I need 60 from Jimmy Butler if I'm looking for 6 times value. Again, Boston plays the wings pretty well. And being down 0-2, I think they're going to play like Indiana played today. Boston is. All right? So I'm going to be careful with Jimmy Butler. All right? I'm going to be careful with that guy. Now, Mirotic just came out and gave us 30. We know that he got good upside. Even Bobby Portis, last game he only got 7 from me. He only played 9 minutes. For that reason, I'm going to keep clear of both of those guys. I'm going to keep clear of Mirotic and Portis because I can't guess which one is going to do good. It's just difficult. All right? Now, the weakest point of the Boston defense, besides their point guard, is their center. Like Robin Lopez today, okay? 8 and 10 rebounds in the first 2 games. As long as he's going to get me a double-double, I'll be happy. For 5'3", we need about 30 from him. 3 out of the last 4 games, he's been around 30. He's averaging 26 and 26 minutes against this team, and which pretty much makes me feel like against this team, he's good for a point per minute. He's getting 32 and 34 points in the playoffs. So I think against this team, he's pretty good for 30. All right. He's been playing well. Briefly, I'll pick on some Robin Lopez. I might have to come off of him, but just off of me breaking out each player, going back to my system of how I was picking lineups before I started getting crazy and erratic, I'm going to consider some Robin Lopez, all right? And that's it. That's it for Chicago. Now, Boston. If it's a position that we know Rondo's a pesky defender, okay? And just like I told you guys, I know my lineups hasn't been doing great, but certain strategy, when I say it, like it really comes through. It does, all right? The first game, Isaiah Thomas went off in the fourth quarter, Mr. quote-unquote fourth quarter. And if you paid attention, and so ironically, the reason he was able to do that is because Rondo didn't play much in the fourth quarter, all right? In the second game, Rondo played a lot of minutes, almost 40 minutes. You only got 28 from Isaiah Thomas. So once Rondo is out there, what I'm pretty much saying is you don't want to pay 8,500 for Isaiah Thomas with Rondo's pesky defense on the road. It's just not a smart thing. Marcus Smart off the bench, I do like. There's certain guys that I would just like. Today I went with Antetokounmpo, and he did well, but it was a blowout, and I wish I didn't have Antetokounmpo. I never pick Antetokounmpo, but coming home on a 1-1, I think this is a perfect spot. And it just never works out for me. Every time I pick certain people, they don't work out for me. And Marcus Smart is one of those people. So I am not going to pick him. But with that said, if you're looking for 6 times value, 34, 23, 28, 29, he's right around 30 each game. He's solid. I just don't have luck with him, so I'm going to stay away, okay? Terry Rozier, we need 12 points from him. In 5 games, 17 minutes, he's averaging 15 points against this team. He just got 13 minutes in a blowout. With them desperate for a win, I don't think Rozier is going to get the minute, so I'll be careful with that. All right. Jay Crowder needs about 30, but Jimmy Butler is a good defender. I'm having a hard time getting to some Jay Crowder. Olynyk, I like. All right. Now, we're looking for 6 times value. That's about 27, I would say. In the first 3 games, 29, 27, 22, 29 and 27. In 4 games this season, just playing 27 minutes, he's averaging 30 against this team. So I don't have a doubt that Olynyk should be considered. I'm going to pull him over. He's fitting my system of what I look for, right? Then Al Horford needs about 40. I considered him the last game. I ended up coming off of him, and I dodged the bullet. I'm not going to mess with Horford. No, not against Chicago. I just don't. On the road, if he's just not feeling Horford tomorrow, all right? So from this game, the 3 people that I like are Rondo, Olynyk, and Lopez, all right? Now, Houston versus OKC. I'm going to do that game last, guys, because there's so much going on in that game. I just want to go to the Clippers versus Jazz. This game I don't really have too much interest in, to be perfectly honest with you guys, all right? Let's start on the Clippers side. Now that the game is going back to Utah, I think it's going to be a very slow game. Look at the point totals in the first 2 games, all right? 99 to 91, 95 to 97. Neither of these, and that's in LA, where the Clippers control the pace for the most part. It's just going to be a slow game, low point total. Now, Chris Paul is 9K. We need 54 from him, okay? You got 57 and 47. With Rondo on my team, I think my point guard spot is pretty safe. That's just too much. I'm not paying up for Chris Paul that much. Redick needs mid-20s. He hasn't really been able to get this. A tough matchup for him. Jamal Crawford, tough matchup. Bahamute for 3,300. He gets a lot of minutes, but nope. Blake Griffin needs upper 40s. He hasn't even touched 40. And Blake Griffin is a guy that I just absolutely will not play. Now, every game, I look at Mo Spates and I say, I might get to Mo Spates. Most Spates is known as an equalizer, man. The guy's going to get you in the teens, either lower, upper teens, mid-teens. For 2,700, what would you say is a comfortable amount to expect from Mo Spates? I would say 6 times 2 is 12, 6, 7 is 42, so 12 plus 4 is 16. 16 for Mo Spates will make me happy, right? 12 and 15. It's just that, the minutes are not there, but he's not the type of guy. I mean, he had a game against LA where he only played 9 minutes and gave you 2 points, but he's in the double digits for fantasy points so often that I don't think I'm going to get to Mo Spates, but I might punt some Mo Spates. So I'm just going to pull him over so I don't forget about it. I just like his possibility for his price, and I know his ownership will be low. And if it turns into a blowout like we've seen tonight, and Mo Spates get extra run and get into the mid-20s, and we punted for him, it's a long shot, and I never bet my money that way. But for a guy to be constant in the mid-teens for just 2.7, like I said, I don't think I'll play him, but I just want to hold on to him for now. And then DeAndre Jordan for 7,400. Nah, that's a little too much. Too much. All right. Let's check out Utah. George Hill for 5,700. It's not a good matchup for him. Slow game. I don't really like point guards. In slow games, I like bigs more than point guards because at least they can get some rebounds and whatnot. Cheap bigs is what I would take from this game, like I did with most Spates, right? Um, Joe Johnson, after that big 38-point game, he gave us 17. Very risky. Ingles just dropped 26. 6 times value would be about upper 20s. I don't know if I can bank on Ingles, man. I don't know. Hayward, if you get him on the right night, you're happy, but he has not been able to really show up. Um, Everybody was big on Derek Favors. He didn't do much. I picked Dial. He didn't do nothing. I'm not going back to this Dial nonsense. Just not my thing. And then Withy, even with Gobert out, they're not even playing him. Now, do they play him as an adjustment? Maybe, but I'm not willing to take that risk, right? So that brings us, let me see what YouTube is talking about before I get too crazy. Heavy on Chicago players on Friday. I hear you. Whole lineup was trash except PG and LeBron, and I cashed. Exactly. If you had PG and LeBron in your lineup, you should have cashed. Period. Lewis, think you need to look more at stars and have fill-in that will give minute points, in my honest opinion. Also, look more at home teams. I agree, Joe. That's why I like the Bulls and I like Thunder players. I'm definitely getting Rondo in. Now, some stars are just too expensive, man. It's just going to handicap like Chris Paul in a slow-paced matchup. It's just not the kind of star I want. I'm looking at Westbrook tomorrow, though, and I had another lineup where I was able to fit Westbrook in comfortably. So that's definitely something I'm looking at, Joe, for sure. Rondo's a very underrated defender. Exactly. When Rondo wants to play defense, he is good. I agree. I have Jerebko in my Friday lineup as a punt in my Westbrook lineup. Watch him. Only looking at center position on LA. How about Boris Diaw? Not a bad play. So yeah, I just kind of gave Diaw a look. They gave Diaw some decent minutes. And he really didn't do much. And then the Clippers is a tough. You got to consider matchups. To pay almost $4K for Diaw to get 16 points, I'm not too enthusiastic about it. Let's get into this Houston game. Houston versus OKC. Sam Dekker is going to be out. Let's start with Houston. We can do that. James Harden. Now, I was reading an article today that the Thunder seems to do a pretty good job limiting James Harden. All right. All season long, Harden has not been able to capitalize on the Thunder. He's had a hard time. Going back to OKC, being up 2-0, I'm just not. If I had to pick between him and Westbrook, I'd rather pay up and get Westbrook because Westbrook is the entire Thunder. We saw what he can do to a slate, and I don't want that to happen again. For it to happen back-to-back is unlikely, but at home, down 0-2, we know that when Westbrook gets to these stressful situations, he overimposes himself, have a lot of turnovers, and he takes too many shots or whatever, but I trust the coach to take control of tomorrow's game. I like Westbrook, man. I like Westbrook tomorrow. I'm going to try to fit him in. But I don't like Harden. I said all that to say I don't like Harden tomorrow. Pat Beverly is cool for about 30 or 35, but to tell me that I got to pay $5,900 for Pat Beverly is a little bit intimidating. All right. Lou Williams just had a decent game. I don't think he can do that twice in a row, and I'm not big on paying $5K for bench players. Eric Gordon had a decent game last time out. He's a good play for 4,600. I think Eric Gordon is just a little bit too cheap, in my opinion. Ariza, he's been struggling. Looking for some consistency. A lot of people like Ryan Anderson. I begged and pleaded that you guys not play Anderson. And I'm going to do the same again. Please, guys, do not play Anderson. His shooting is poor. 1 for 8, 1 for 6, 0 for 7, 0 for 4. He's throwing up a lot of threes and he's missing them. Plus, OKC is a team that guard the power forward spot pretty well. Not feeling Ryan. I mean, his price is a little bit tempting. And I guess his split shows that he does much better on the road. Look, at home he's 19, away he's 26. So some people seem to like him on the road. I'm not big on it. The one Thunder guy that I like is Capella. For 5.4, we'd be happy with just about 30. He's averaging that in the first 2 games. And what makes me like him even more is that he's not even playing the minutes, man. 29 and 31 minutes. 4 blocks, 2 blocks. Those are pretty good numbers. So I do like Capella. I won't say I love Capella. I like a lot of OKC players, though. I might stack up nice amount of OKC players. First guy I do like a lot on OKC is Westbrook. Now, I know I said I'm looking for 6 times value, but it's also important, like what my man Joe Lease just kind of mentioned. If you get the player that has the highest point total for the night, you're in a good spot. Look at LeBron and Paul George today. If you had those two with a bunch of scrubs, you should have cashed. You know what I mean? It was that type of night. So Westbrook is the kind of guy that can handicap a slate. So if I get 5 times value from him, which will be what? 65, I guess, right? 65 would be 5 times value. He's averaging 68 against this team. He just dropped 96. Game 1, he only put up 48, but at home, when we look at his home and away splits, I just like Westbrook tomorrow, man. I don't want to have to try to explain too much why I love Westbrook tomorrow. Get some Westbrook and be happy about it, all right? Oladipo needs about 30 to make me happy. The reason I like Oladipo here is, for one, he just put up about 30. If I get 28 from him, I'm not excited, but 30 is decent. He's home. He's been shooting the ball very bad in Houston. 4 for 14, 1 for 12. The encouraging part of all that is he's taking 14 and 12 shots, all right? He's crashing the boards. He's rebounding well, 9 rebounds. We know that when Russell Westbrook sits, he kind of try to run the offense. So I'm going to go ahead and take some Oladipo. I feel good about it. All right. Andre Roberson. I've been foolishly not playing Roberson because every game I'm telling myself he can't do it again. He can't do it again. And what he keeps doing, he does it again. He does it again. Now, they played this team 6 times this season. He's averaging 30 points. That's 6 times value for his price, all right? The number. Now, the first game he was hitting his threes, so people can say, okay, he's not a 3-point shooter. That's why he did well. The second game, he went 0 for 3 from the 3-point line, okay? The reason he does well against this team is because of the dynamics of the game. It's a high-paced game. He gets a lot of rebounds. He gets a lot of offensive rebounds and putbacks. I just want to see something. Let's take a look at the last game here that they played yesterday. And I want to see what Roberson did on the boards. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure that most, if not all, of his rebounds were offensive rebounds. Would they? Oh, yes, it does. 7 offensive rebounds, okay? Which led to, I would say, 4 to 5 putbacks. All right? And that's all he needs to do. Now, granted, he had 2 steals and 3 blocks, but he's a defender, and Harden will give you that. If he's guarding Harden, you're pretty safe for some blocks and steals, all right? And for him to be playing 40 minutes, the price is up on him, and it's not something that most people will be super safe with, but I've been waiting for OKC to be at home to play Andre Roberson. So now I'm going to Roberson, and I'm going to do it with confidence this game, okay, guys? Jeremy Grant has been stepping up decently. I've seen him get so aggressive and really, he doesn't have to do much to hit value for 3,400. 21 and 17. That's encouraging. I don't know if I want to reach that low though. Coming off the bench. I don't know. I do want a lot of exposure to this game. It's going to be high scoring and it's do or die for the Nuggets. So I'm trying to get my hands on some good Nuggets players. I think Jeremy Grant can really be a good surprise tomorrow for that price. Because 6 times value is 18, and he's been so consistent. Let me consider him a little bit. I still got some money. Let's continue. Taj Gibson. Oh my God, that guy sucks. He's a good defender, but offensively, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Steven Adams, all right. I've been riding out Steven Adams all the way, and I have not been having success with it. 6 times value is upper 20s we need from Adams. Outside of the playoffs, he's averaging 24 points in 28 minutes. We know that this last game he was in foul trouble. He fouled out. And even in foul trouble, he did pretty okay in 27 minutes. He got me 21. It's hard to fade Steven Adams for that price in this good matchup, man. Back at home. At home, for 4.7, I definitely want some Steven Adams. So I'm going to go ahead and put Steven Adams in my lineup. I feel good about it. And then most space I can get rid of. If I like Jeremy Grant, just get rid of most space and go Grant. It's an option preliminarily. And my lineup is going to look something like this tomorrow, guys. Now I just want to take a look at players that I'm leaving behind and making sure I'm not making too much mistakes. So, Harden, I just think he's too expensive. I don't know. Last time out, I did a Harden Westbrook stack, and that worked out quite a bit. That might be the KD LeBron stack of tomorrow. So I might go 2 lineups again tomorrow like I did today. And if I do, I'm definitely stacking Harden and Westbrook in that lineup. But this lineup is just a safe, balanced lineup with everybody in it is people that I like. And that's what I'm doing, okay? I pretty much got the whole OKC starting 5 in the lineup right now as I'm looking at it. And I feel pretty good about it, all right? Let's see who I'm leaving behind. Isaiah Thomas. There's nobody that I'm really leaving behind that makes me feel like, why am I doing that? Maybe some Chris Paul. But for 9-1, he hasn't really touched 50. He did in game 1. Chris Paul, for sure, deserves some attention. He's everything they got. Road split doesn't matter. And he won't disappoint you. Chris Paul is definitely someone to consider. My second lineup. It's just that how awfully slow that game is, man. I'm not sure how I feel about Chris Paul. It's hard. 10 assists, 11 assists, 25.3 steals. Yeah, I'm going to take a risk and not mess with Chris Paul tomorrow. And that's pretty much about it. I like the lineup. Now, let's see what we can improve on here. Olynyk is pretty solid. He's hitting the threes. What he did, he had 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Let me see what YouTube's talking about before I get crazy. Westbrook for 3.9. What the hell? His first game back at home, down 0-2. I'm gonna do a Westbrook and a non-Westbrook lineup. I think that's what I'm gonna do. A Westbrook and a non-Westbrook because It's hard to fade Westbrook, man. I'm gonna do a Westbrook and a non-Westbrook. I'm all over Westbrook tomorrow. Seriously, he may go for an NBA playoff record tomorrow. That's what I'm saying, man. Westbrook is hard to fade on these small slates, man. Roblo over Capella. If you're playing matchups, yeah. Roblo has a better matchup. Love Roberson. I agree 100%. Regular season Roberson, no, but the postseason Roberson, hungry. The way he's hitting those boards on the offensive, I like Roberson a lot, man. Definitely into matchups. Yup. Look at the Houston versus OKC going into overtime. Good first stat. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a good exposure to that. Harden is almost 11K flat. He hasn't been that low in a very long time. Selling like Westy for 2K cheaper. One of my lineups tonight will feature Rondo, Butler, Van Negro. Be careful with that Butler, man. I know he just had a good game, but be careful. Stack Westbrook and Harden seems a lot like tonight with PG. Yeah, that's what I said, John Cena. I said the same thing. Let me take a look at Jerebko. A lot of people seem to like Jerebko. Let's check out some Jerebko. I don't really remember touching on him. Oh, for 2K, he's not getting any minutes. Why do you guys? I'm not on Jerebko. I know the coach said that he's gonna shake up the lineup a little bit. So Amir Johnson is not gonna start, rightfully so. But that makes me like Olynyk, man. I'm gonna put back Olynyk right away, man. I think Olynyk is in a good spot. I think Olynyk is the Zach Randolph of today. Gonna come off Steven Adams. Although I like the spot that he's in, he just hasn't really been doing much, and I'm good. All right, I'm gonna get off Jeremy Grant. I think I'm reaching there. Let's see what I'm left with here. So some Rondo, even Oladipo, man. These guys been very. Even Oladipo, I'm gonna come off Oladipo, kind of shake things up a little bit. I like Roberson, like Olynyk. Love Roblo tomorrow for that price. Roblo's gonna get that double, 20 points. And yeah, let's get some Capella in there, man. Let's get some Capella. I don't mind that at all. Let's get some Capella down there. All right. For two guard, I think I'm gonna stick with my Oladipo initial. And then for forward, just stick with Jeremy Grant, man. So that's one lineup, right? That's my safe lineup. That's a lineup that I like a lot. I'm gonna go Rondo, Oladipo, Roberson, Olynyk, Roblo, Westbrook, Jeremy Grant, and then Capella. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna try to get some Harden love in there because Harden is another guy that can handicap your lineup. You know what's funny? I broke down these two slates at two different times, and I had the same lineup: Rondo, Oladipo, Roberson, Olynyk, Capella in both, Westbrook in both, Grant in both, Lopez in both. So I broke down the slate twice, one pre and one nine. I came up with the same exact lineup. It's pretty interesting. But let's try to get a Harden lineup, right? Westbrook Harden lineup. It leaves us with 4K. So who are we throwing here? We're gonna have to stick with Jeremy Grant for all that, right? Power forward, we're gonna have to go. I would say stick with Olynyk. In the center spot, oh my God, Cantor for 37 at home. It's kind of cheap. They only play him 8 and 16 minutes. And I don't know about Cantor. I don't want to do that. For center, at this point, I'll take Steven Adams in that good matchup. For guard, what if I still keep Rondo? No, that's too much handicap. For guard, I will go. If I'm stacking this game, I'll go Pat Bev. Not a bad. I don't know about Pat Bev. So Marcus Smart love. Hate the thought of it. Hate the thought of it. Let's get Pat Bev out of there. Oladipo. We could take some Oladipo. Stick with Oladipo. Forward. Yeah, I gotta stack this Houston game tomorrow, man. I think that's the highest scoring game tomorrow. Let's hope it doesn't turn into a blowout, because then I'm screwed. I'm starting to feel like Bahamute deserves a little punt, man. The guy's playing 40 minutes a game. Doesn't have to do much. Look, he's not doing anything. He got what? 4 points, a block, 2 assists, and 8 rebounds. Look at this other game here. He had 14, 15 points. How many shots he's taking? 6. It'll be that one time I play Bahamute. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to myself. You know, if we're gonna pay up for Westbrook and thing, we're gonna have to pay down somewhere and punt someone. And that could bring me back to my most space idea. And then for 4K, get some Cantor. You know, we know Cantor's a player that'll get you in the 30s on any given day. His price is way too cheap for Cantor. You know what I mean? So I like how this looks as well. Westbrook, Harden, Jeremy Grant, Olynyk, Steve Adams, Oladipo, Spates, Cantor. Might have to mess with some Roberson here for 4,900. Who would I have to take out for him? Oladipo. Nah, I got a good fan of Oladipo come out super. I think Oladipo double tomorrow, man. I think he'll do what it takes. Let me see what you guys talking about on the YouTube before I wrap it up. Stack Westbrook and Harden seems a lot, yeah. Wow, looks like the lineup I made a few hours ago. Boris Diaw at 3,600. Let's see. Over Cantor? Let's see. Nah, I can't do the Diaw thing, man. He doesn't rebound the ball at all. He's not a good rebounder. Let's look at the games when he do well. What does he do? Score 19 points? Nah, I can't get to Diaw, guys. Sorry, I can't get to any Diaw tomorrow. Not feeling Depot. I mean, I hear you. You know, to have Depot in both lineup is kind of rough. What do you think is a legitimate replacement for Oladipo on this slate for around the 5K mark? Capella. Stick to Roblo. Yeah, I'd rather Roblo than Oladipo. I could dig that. Take out some Steve Adams and go Capella. I don't know, man. I think Steven Adams. When was the last time Steven Adams did something great? I don't know why I keep telling myself Steven Adams is the player when he really does nothing on a nightly basis. So let's come off Steven Adams. Let's put in Lopez. Let's tweak this a little bit. Let's put Rob Lowe back. All right. Some Capella. And I'm gonna need a guard. That's the thing. I'm gonna need a guard. If I can get Rondo in this lineup, though, man, If I can get Rondo, Harden, and Westbrook, I would be in love. Let's see something. Let me see something here. I think I could do it, guys. What's that guy that we like? Roberson for 5K. Jeez. It's looking good, man. I got Rondo, Westbrook, Harden in there. And it's looking decent without messing around too much. You know what I mean? Let's move up some Roberson. I like how Roberson is playing. So this is a good show so far. It just scares me that I only got 2,600. But I got me some Roberson, some Olenek. See what you guys talk about. See if I get some help. I think you might be overthinking players based on last games. Explain, Gerald. Let me know what you mean. Who am I overthinking? Who am I overthinking? And kind of explain what you mean. Capella doing better than Lopez so far. Is that right? No, I don't think that's right. Let's check it out. Lopez in the first two games, 35 and 28. 35 and 28. Capella for the same price, 29 and 31. And Lopez is in a better matchup, and Lopez is at home. So it's a lot of reasons to like Lopez over Capella, in my opinion. But if you have a better thought process, let me know. Talk to me. Let me know what you guys thinking about. Yeah, Joe, I just look at your Capella argument, and Lopez has put up better numbers so far in this playoffs than Capella. Do you think the Celtics are going to change their lineup at all? Yes. The coach said that they're changing it. The coach said that he's making a change. And I think Olenek is the beneficiary of it. That's why I'm not willing to really budge off Olenek too much. Because with limited minutes, he's been, 24 minutes, 29, 23, 27. The coach is seeing that. And they're seeing like, hey, why are we bringing this guy off the bench when we can start him and get a good push off the rip? So I think Olenek get the starts. A lot of people think it might be Jerebko, but Jerebko hasn't really been doing much. Olenek has been showing that I deserve minutes, and I think Olenek is going to be the Zach Randolph, Zebo of tomorrow's slate. I might have to come down off Rondo in this lineup, but I don't know. Where did you see that they were going to do that? Do you think Zeller is going to get run? Nah, I don't think Zeller will. And even if he does, I don't think Zeller is someone that I would consider. But as far as yeah, I'll show you. Hold on, Celtics. Excuse me. Let's find a report. So Brad Stevens hinted that he may consider tweaking his starting lineup for Friday's Game 3 in Chicago. He says, we've got to space the floor better than we have. Again, that makes me like Olenek. Olenek will space the floor because he can hit the three-point. That's what Stevens said. He says, we've got to focus on our direction on drive and kicking. If we can't get a finish kicking it out and making the next right play for the next guy, then you have to knock down shots. Amir Johnson has done a whole lot of nothing. And with Stevens emphasizing the need for better spacing, maybe he'll consider bringing in Jerebko in the starting five as he did during last year's playoff run after falling 0-2 against Atlanta. Stay tuned. So that's why people are liking Jerebko. But me, I like Olenek. I like Olenek in that situation. But that's where we heard that, Roman. Right there. That's what I was reading earlier today. Yeah, it's hard for me not to play Rondo, Harden, and Westbrook. You know what? Being that I already got a Westbrook lineup, and Westbrook is so expensive, what I'm going to do here is take out, in the second lineup of mine, I'm going to take out Westbrook, And I'm gonna go get some better value. I'm gonna balance it out a little bit because we're leaving guys that I like a lot, like Chris Paul, for example, for $5,000 cheaper. So you can get some Chris Paul in your lineup, have a nice balanced lineup, and be happy. Okay, get some Rob Lopez. All right. So Chris Paul, Harden, Robertson, Olenek, Lopez. I know you guys like yourselves some Capella. I don't know about Capella tomorrow on the road, man. Look at his splits. At home, 29.9. On the road, 24.9. And it's a tough matchup. I'm not sold on Capella tomorrow, guys. I'm just not sold on Capella. And then Jerebko. For 2K, I mean, he doesn't have to do a lot to get his value for that, man. If you're going to punt something and the coach is saying, I guess it's going to be something that we have to look close at lock and see who's going to get the start. And thank God they're playing the first game. But if they put Jerebko in the starting lineup, sure, I'll take some Jerebko, save money on that. And then for 5,500, I'm not feeling Capella, guys. I know you guys like Capella, but the numbers just don't want to. Joe says, agree with you after showing me about Lopez and Capella. Thanks. Yeah, Joe, you're welcome. I'm a guy, man. If you guys mention something to me, I'll really break it down and see if it's legit. Like Jerebko, I'm willing to play Jerebko now because if he's gonna get the start, they tell me he's starting. Trust me, for 2K, he's in there, especially with the rest of this lineup looking so juicy, right? And then for 5,500, I'll be honest, it's between A.V. Bradley, because I'm looking at matchups, right? A.V. Bradley and Oladipo. I do want to stick to my Oladipo feeling. I know you guys don't really like Oladipo tomorrow, but look how he's been shooting, man. 4 for 14, 1 for 12. I mean, he's not the best shooter. He's really good for his defense, but for 5'3", I think Oladipo at home is pretty safe, especially if you're fading Westbrook. Oladipo or A.V. Bradley? What do you guys think? Oladipo or A.V. Bradley? Someone says, what about Nene? 4-1. I'm not big on Nene for that price. I like Nene when he was like low threes. On the road, he doesn't start. I can't say I love Nene. I mean, he's decent for 5 times value. He's a good floor. He has a good, decent floor. I like Nene's floor, to say the least. I can't admit to liking Nene's floor. So, just don't like his upside. I like his floor. I don't like his upside. So that's how I feel about Nene. Bradley over I don't mind messing with some Bradley tomorrow, man. Getting out of my comfort zone. Bradley's not a player that I normally play. I know I'm looking for 5 times value, but what stands out to me is in 36 minutes this season, Bradley's he's averaging 28 points, right? He hasn't really touched 30 yet. He shot the ball 5 for 15, 5 for 13. I think if they tweak up the lineup a little bit, we know that Bradley in some tough matchups. Milwaukee, he went off for 33. Atlanta, 27-31. He's taking a lot of shots, though. For a guy taking 13 or 15 shots, I like Avery Bradley tomorrow. With Rondo being on Isaiah Thomas, I'll consider it. So I went Oladipo in my Westbrook lineup. So this is what I'm going to do because it's hard for me to see a game when both Oladipo and Westbrook are both going to go off, right? Normally, Oladipo have a real solid game when Westbrook doesn't. Let me just make sure I'm saying stuff right. So Minnesota, Memphis, Charlotte. Let me see something real quick. Minnesota, Memphis, Charlotte. Minnesota, Memphis. Minnesota, he didn't play. Memphis, he went off for 81. Charlotte, he went off for 80. So maybe having Westbrook and Oladipo is not a bad idea. Maybe not. I could do that. And then I play Avery Bradley in my non-Westbrook, so that game turns out to like a blowout or the Thunder doesn't come in. So that's pretty safe. The two lineups, what I like is that I have a pretty healthy OKC Houston stack in one lineup. And then this lineup here is a pretty healthy Boston Chicago stack. And we know that Utah game is going to be slow. It's not going to be a lot of stack worthiness in that game. So I like these two lineups right here, man. And I think, yeah, with Oladipo, I can't say I love Oladipo. Not with the way that Roberson has emerged, all right? I like Oladipo in situations where I think he can get double-digit rebounds, and Roberson is crashing. I don't know. My gut likes Oladipo, but something deep down tells me that Avery Bradley trying to save that team tomorrow. And Avery Bradley has a lot of talent. He's good on the defensive end. He's a decent offensive player as well. So for you till we are still back at Capella, LOL. I don't like the matchup. And Capella on the road, man. When I looked at the splits, Capella look at this look. You go from 29.9 to 24.9 on your home hold split. It concerns me. You know, it concerns me. And then it's a bad matchup. Steven Adams at home with the crowd. And remember, Steven Adams was in foul trouble this last game, which allowed, and he still didn't even hit 6 times value. He only played 23 minutes. They're splitting between him and Nene. It's a lot against Capella that I'm not excited about. So I agree. Bulls are off TNT tomorrow, finally. LOL. Boston should bounce back. Capella versus Bradley. Let's check it out. Let's look at the numbers. So in 5 games, only 22 minutes, Capella's averaging 30 points. All right. Bradley against this team in 5 games, playing 36 minutes, is still averaging about 30 points. So the guy that plays the most minutes, I would like, the guy that's in the better. Let's look at matchups. Let's consider everything. Let's look at matchups. Bradley got the better matchup. He's in the green. Capella, we know, is in a bad matchup. They're both on the road, so we can't take that. Bradley getting 15 shot attempts per game. Some steals. I'm trying to shop around and see. I like Steven Adams, man. I just talked myself out of Adams because as much as I like him, I don't know why I like him. He really hasn't really done much, man. The only team he really made value against was Phoenix in an obvious matchup. Denver, obvious matchup. In 6 games, he's only averaging 24 points against this team. I can't do that. Can't chase that. Just can't. Cantor. That last spot is kind of rough. I'm thinking if I could pay down and then go up on someone else. I love the idea of Jerebko and Olynyk, having them both. That's like one player for 6,600 that almost a guarantee to get you 40 points with the stack. Kind of like what I did with Thon Maker and Monroe today, and that proved to be a decent play. Let me see what you guys talking about. One pick being so hard. Hey, bro, I've been subscribed to you already. Can you subscribe back to me? All right, Martin, I can promise you one thing. I'll check out your profile at the end of this stream. And if you are talking about something that I'm interested in, I'll subscribe. But if you're talking about skateboards or something that I'm not into, I won't subscribe. So that's my deal to you, all right? Um, you know, I'm gonna take Capella for right now. Still the night before. I'm gonna go Capella. Only because of the consistency so far. In the last 3 games, 29, 30, 46, and 27. So let's go ahead and get Capella. I'm going to go Capella. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm going to take one more look at you guys. And let's see the lineups that we've came up with so far. I think these two are it. Oh, these two are the same, right? So this is it. This is my 2 lineups for tomorrow that I'm going to run out. So Rondo, Oladipo, Roberson, Olynyk, Capella, Westbrook, Jeremy Grant, and Robin Lopez. Then I'm going to get some Chris Paul, James Harden, Roberson, Olynyk, Rob Lowe, Rondo, Jerebko, Capella. 2 solid lineups. I feel great about both of them. So that looks like what I'm going to roll out with tomorrow. And I'll be back at 6:15-ish pre-lock to confirm and see how we're going to move forward. All right, guys? If you're in the room and you haven't liked the video, go ahead and click the thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming, hanging out. And I know it's been rough, but I'm confident that before the end of the playoff, we're going to take down one of these tournaments and come up $1,000 each, as long as you play my lineup. I'm confident, man. It has to happen. I just know this. I know this. All right. Joe Lee says, night, Lewis. Great show again. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys. Have to watch you in my meetings. Oh, you mean tomorrow? Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6:15, 6:30-ish. Peace.